So many people ask the question, Rabbi, how do I live a spiritual life? Not how do I feel spiritual, because spirituality is something we all feel at times. How do I live a spiritual life? And the best example is probably this. Last night, we came out of the most important Jewish holiday, arguably, on the Jewish calendar, called Yom Kippur. The joke about this day is that even people who don't go to shul, to synagogue all year, end up on that day back in temple. So if you look at that holiday, when everybody's together and everybody's praying and meditating, connected, the question really is not that day. The question is the day after. That will determine whether or not you're spiritual. You see, spiritual feelings, even very intense ones, are endemic to everyone in the human race. Everybody has moments where you feel God, you feel spiritual, you feel connected. The real question is, what do you do with the feeling? Can you sustain the feeling? So being in your church, your temple, your mosque, your place of worship, and feeling God, that's the easy part. The real challenge is when you walk out of the building and you put that spirituality onto the streets. To highlight that, there was a story told several centuries ago about a very famous Rebbe, a very famous rabbi. And after Yom Kippur, the most famous day on the Jewish calendar, a congregant came to him and said, Rabbi, we were all together. We did the spirituality thing together. When will the Messiah come? When will redemption come? And the Rebbe said to him, when you can act like it's Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, when it's not Yom Kippur, then you can expect redemption. So real spirituality is simple. If you go to church on Sundays and you feel connected in those hours that you're there, that's simply recharging the battery. The real secret is when you leave the church, leave your house of worship, you go onto the streets and begin interacting with every citizen. If that spirituality can't accompany you to that place, then we got a problem. That means that you've compartmentalized your spirituality. You're spiritual here, but you're not spiritual here. So the easy answer is a spiritual life is made when you spend your life taking what you learn in the books, learn in the temple, and you bring that to the streets. If you can be that guy in the building, out of the building, when you're talking to the postman, when you're talking to the landlady, when you're helping the old lady across the street, when you're interacting with your neighbors. That is the clearest litmus test, the clearest evidence that you're living a spiritual life. So, recharge the battery. But just like the cell phone, without using the cell phone or a charged battery doesn't mean much. Recharging the battery in the temple, the church, the mosque is great. Taking it to the streets is using the actual device, using the actual technology.